Travis Terrell, take your clothes off. And good morning. This is We Are Live.
Good morning. Hello. We are live indeed. We've got surprises. We've got Greg Fitzsimmons back on the show. But first, we're live from Midcoast Studio, and that means there's one man
Hold on. We got
running the helm.
Oh boy. Are we ready for this?
This is a big moment.
Oh,
I don't know if
my.
you can go full screen or not, but you just do your thing.
All right, here we go.
This
This
is a big
scary.
unveiling.
Here, hold on to
and,
your butts, everyone.
You guys are going to be horrified.
Oh boy.
Chris Gardner.
Ah!
He has a neck.
Good morning, gentlemen,
Ah!
and good morning to my walnuts.
Oh wow. Wow, look at that. Put that beautiful kisser up in that screen. There you go. There you go. Show the world what you're working with your fine ass. Fine, thick ass. Yeah, you ain't nobody calling you thick Jesus no more. Maybe thick Rob Lowe. Thick Rob Lowe. That's what they're going to be calling you today, my friend.
My stylist said I had thick hair.
You look good. It looks like you could be in a reboot of The West Wing.
Ooh. Yeah.
You look like you belong. You look like you would do a great job canvassing in Nevada for Bernie Sanders.
I was thinking about working for the census.
You look great. May I say,
You
hot.
You look like Aunt Chris's new girlfriend who's real aggressive.
Power rankings just moved up, baby. You just skipped Chris Dimon. Chris Dimon, you're 97 weeks at number one. As the finest white man on this show, has now been usurped by Chris Gardner.
Wow. Feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm a little too good looking.
Yeah, you really are, man. Hey, man, you gonna get so much. Oh, man, they gonna be throwing it at you. So, boo!
I mentioned my gray hair in the salon last night, and my stylist corrected me. He goes, "It's silver."
Ooh!
He's like, and it's a nice shade
It
of
is.
silver.
I ain't
Oh,
gonna lie.
wow. People pay good money for dye jobs to look
I
like
know.
that. Yeah.
I know.
So wait, what do you plan on doing with your new look? Are you more aerodynamic? Do you have more neck mobility?
I don't know. It's weird because normally when I put my backpack on, I have to pull my hair. I had to pull my hair out of the strap, and I still try to do that, even though there's no hair there to pull. So I'm
Right.
kind of doing this, and I'm wondering if people are noticing that at all. I hope not, because it looks a little weird. My neck feels the wind a little more now,
Right.
and the one benefit is I guess my hair won't fly into my cigarette as I'm smoking
That's
it
fair.
anymore.
Big day.
That's fair.
So that's no longer.
You know who
an
you look
issue.
like? You look like Nash Bridges. You look like Don Johnson.
Oh my God!
You look good, man.
Thank
They
you.
gonna have to. You're gonna have to get a firing hose
Oh.
because you're gonna have to be holding them back, baby.
I got a round of applause as I walked into
Yeah,
Rosie's last night.
Somebody gonna round of applause with some vagina here soon.
I think
Okay.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just trying to. Hey, you telling me he ain't looking?
He looks great.
I
Thank
had,
you.
I had a couple girls come up to me and a couple gentlemen.
All
as well.
right.
Yeah.
Ain't no
Is that
fun.
is that an air of confidence?
Homies can't have a little
It's
something.
weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Strange.
I don't like it.
What's this bag in front of Travis?
It's a gift for Travis.
Now, I kindly asked my good friend and great producer, Chris Gardner, that if the opportunity came about, he would perhaps save some of his locks for lockless individuals like myself. And boy, did he come through. Oh, yeah, look at that, baby. Ooh, doctor, look at that.
Hey, let's
How
see.
about-
Why don't you put it on? Why don't you put it on?
Oh, but this is what I'm really hoping to go for. What are we?
Yeah, there you go. Oh, look at
Holy
that.
moly.
Oh.
Does it feel good?
I get it. The confidence right now. The confidence that I have.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. I feel like I can go. There isn't a casting agent I could walk into right now. I don't.
Jesus
There isn't a. I feel 10 years younger.
Hold on, look into the camera. Give me a look. All right, thank you. That's all I needed. Oh my God.
I see why you feel like you have privilege. This is where the privilege is stored. I feel like you store the privilege in the hair. I get it now. Why can't I now see inside of Rosie's? There's Sean.
Yeah. How's he doing?
Oh, he's dancing.
Yeah. Oh, you can see inside. Oh my God.
This is so funny. This is outstanding. I love it. Hey, but you're going to donate this.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to get it to Wigs for Kids. Is the organization I think I settled on. I gotta print off some stuff here after
Okay.
the show, and then I gotta put it in a plastic Ziploc bag and then in an envelope and mail it off. Is how it works.
Good luck, my friend. Job well done. So proud of you.
I had to take the beard in a little tight too.
I like
They
it.
actually
man.
at the salon they did they're wanting a before and after. I think I'm gonna end up on their Instagram or something like that.
Trust me, I'm looking at this. We have photos, frame photos of various events of We Are Live, and I'm staring at one with Chris and myself, and in the middle is Gardner with his lovely, lovely flowing locks, and I'm looking down to my left, and oh my goodness, it is
Like one of these pictures here.
Yes, it's two different people. This is crazy to me.
Just like
And
that.
you too have amazing hair. Look at that. You look like a damn lion out of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
They said, my stylist said, he's like, hey, you're not gonna, doesn't look like you're gonna lose your hair anytime soon. So fingers crossed.
There you go, man.
This was on the counter after the first
Look
step.
at that. Gandalf.
Man, and the thing is too, like I have issues with determining color and stuff like that. But the shorter they went, the more silver I could see.
Look at you, man. You done did it.
And I was like, oh, I'm gonna need to trim this beard because I need to get closer to the gray parts to match it up, or else I'm gonna have to just ferment it or something like that.
No play for Mr. Gray. Don't forget that. Our guest in the 9 o'clock hour did maybe it was what was the famous? Oh, he did a Rogaine commercial. I was thinking Greg Fitzsimmons did a
Greg Fitzsimmons did
just
a
for
Rogaine
me.
commercial?
for sure. Yeah, in the 90s, 1,000,000%.
Really?
Yeah,
Seriously?
for sure.
That's hilarious.
He's a trained actor. He just never act.
really?
You can ask him about it. Yeah,
That's interesting.
That is
seriously.
interesting.
He was on Idiot Savant.
Is there a reason for that? Should we ask that question? I'll ask that
He
question.
says
Don't worry
he just
about
never gets booked.
it. To act?
Yeah.
But he's a trained actor
Talk to him. He went to school.
who has
he went to like a
who works with other TV people.
Yeah, he's a writer.
lot.
He's a very respected writer and
And sometimes a lot of writers get a lot of screen time.
So
hey
let's-
man,
well, let's talk to him about it. Let's talk to him about who his
I want to be
nemesis-
his representation.
who's
there.
who's getting the gigs that he thinks he would deserve. Maybe he doesn't go out much anymore.
Did you have a piece of my hair in your face?
I wasn't sure. I just get a little bit of it and get used to it, and I'm so proud of you.
If you wear that again like that, do you like get an accent or anything? Or
Over time, it has to just
Okay.
naturally develop. In fact, in my head, I've been working on my British accent because I'm trying to find whatever avenue I can to quote unquote make it.
yeah.
And so I feel like Chris believes 30% of a joke is improved by dropping the N word. I think your chances at life are improved with an accent.
I think it depends on where you are.
Certainly. But I think just
Like
in
if you
ge-
bring that Australian accent to the States, ooh, and you're a gentleman, man, how much more attractive are you to
Yeah,
women
that's
at
true.
that point?
But I look, I've talked about it before. All 4 years we've been doing this. British accents, they're virtually undefeated. How else are you going to get a continent of black people to believe you?
Yeah,
It's
can
the
we stop?
accent.
Can we stop blaming good white folks like me for all that crap that happened? Blame it on the people with the British accents from back
Well,
then.
Chris,
called-
you see, we just perpetuate the systems that were created, though.
Okay, you want me to call you a?
Well, Chris, it's
May-
I've never wanted to say.
May have lost some hair, but I haven't lost that timing.
but here's
man.
the thing. It's called a shared burden. We share in the burden, Chris. We all have a responsibility to be better.
Yeah, that's what Joaquin Phoenix was telling us at what was it, the BAFTAs?
That the BAFTAs. He was saying, hey, it's on us. It's on us to be a part of the change. We can't just sit over there and point fingers
Yeah,
and
but
say, hey,
people
do
don't-
better if you're not going to actually engage
Travis,
in the
people don't wanna
process
do
to make
that.
something better.
You have to work at that.
I know.
We want to be lazy.
I realize this.
That's
just saying.
difficult.
That's all it is, man, baby. We know y'all see it. And when you see it, call it out. If somebody being disrespectful to your mama in these streets, you just going to let it slide, wait till you get home, talk about it later? Nah. You're going to confront it right then and there.
You ain't saying nothing but a
I
word.
ain't saying nothing but a word, man. Happy black you wear. You know I love you, baby.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to pull you down from the hot white man power rankings of We Are Live. Thank you, Gardner. Gardner looking good today. That's all. It's got me fired up. I don't know what to do with myself. All of a sudden,
I do feel weird.
you make me. I would vote for your ass. I don't know what you would be running for, but I would vote for you. And I don't even know where you stand on the issues.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly. I don't know what's happening right
I think
now.
John Kerry was almost elected. I mean,
Look,
he just had that. He had a good piece of hair, good head of hair.
you look like O'Fallon's version of Chris Hemsworth.
Oh. Oh.
I went from an O'Fallon 7 to an O'Fallon 8
See?
overnight.
Overnight. Look at him. I didn't even know he had muscles. That's weird.
I don't really.
He's got muscles.
He benches 350 now.
Yeah. It's from smoking.
Are people? I honestly think let Red Panda know. She's gonna be like, no, you're not my friend Gardner.
Gardner looks like Keith Olbermann from the side. It's scary.
Yeah.
Arlington Lane.
I mean,
I don't feel like yelling though.
You just seem like a very enchanting doorman.
That would be good. That's what I'm going for.
Tom Brown thought Travis was Chris Tucker's character from The Fifth Element's older brother when he had the hair. Can I see that again, please?
Oh boy.
Will you put 2 of them in?
No, I have to wait because it's getting all. I'm still getting hair out of my face.
It's a little smoky. Does it
Yeah,
smell
the hair,
minty,
yeah.
smoky?
And like I said, I go into a trance where I just start seeing crystals and bears.
Yeah.
All right.
I got a good wash at the salon. But once again, thanks to Daniel at Philip Johnson for
Nice.
taking care of me.
Job well done. That's great
Bet
work.
he-
And I also-
bet he did.
And I noticed as well the stylists were
Idiot.
kind of wandering around, taking peeks to see how.
It was gonna turn out.
Yeah, because
Oh, like they didn't know what you were going to do with it?
they didn't. I don't know that they realized I was going a drastic change.
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
okay.
now I
And
knew
so
you
then
said
it
you
Yes,
were.
you
started-
didn't go with a fashion mullet. You coward.
At one point, Daniel said, he's like, you kind of got a mullet right now. And I go, I have my asshole friends that don't want me to keep that for like a day. Because it was kind of there, because the first step was getting the tails of hair.
Right.
Because I needed to get that ready for donation. So as that's coming off, is how the mullet's kind of developing, whenever that's happening.
May I ask how long it took?
It took a little while
Right.
because we did, I had to go over to the sink like 3 times.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, yeah, normally I only take people over there twice, but and also like the part, it took a little while to get all the hair in order to do the,
Right.
because it did a nice wash first, comb through a couple times, a blow dry.
Got you.
Actually, I should have taken a picture of my hair after the blow drying because it was all straight and just down, and I was
Oh, my
I was looking
goodness.
at it, I'm like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah, like you like a straight up perm. Like your hair was just flowing locks, like
Yeah.
straight on down.
It was straight, like there was no curls in it at all.
That's weird.
And
You
so it
probably
was
look like, I don't know.
I was like,
That's scary.
I kind of looked at it and I was like, man, I wish I could just hold off on the haircut for another day and just go in like this tomorrow with it like straight and down instead
No, you
of
definitely would
any
have.
waves or
You got to
curls.
talking to in the corner when you were smoking outside the building. They would have arrested. They wouldn't even ask whether or not you belonged here. They're like, nah, just shut up. Hands against the wall. Don't say a word. You know how this works.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you didn't do that. But you look great.
Question
if
from
we
the
had
audience. Gardner.
souls, I think part of my soul would might have left with my hair.
There's got to be Native American tales about like what you had done to you as like you have basically demanded yourself.
Oh,
How about this
oh,
from the fancy foyer?
yeah.
Is this Gardner's I need to go apply for jobs haircut?
Yes, most certainly is.
The doorman industry is not in with the long hair.
I don't know for sure, but I can't risk it right now,
I was livid.
especially if I'm trying to get in at the ground level.
Idiot.
Oh boy.
Are you going to drop the, how's your day been? Just like the elevator. Has its ups and downs.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
That's good.
okay.
I need a list of jokes.
Good doorman humor. Well, Trav, again, best doorman punch-up writer in the
Yeah.
business.
Let me know, baby. I got it.
We could do the Doorman joke book. It'll be
Yes.
part of the Doorman Diaries, which will be my future podcast.
Okay.
See? Look, we're already thinking ahead.
I like it.
From Jeff Wilson, former guest on the show. Morning, gents. Merry New Year. Thanks for the memories, Trav. Continued success. All the best. Much love. Epstein didn't kill himself.
That's Jeffrey was on when Travis was not
Oh, I
willing to
love
go
Jeff-
into the
I love
JFK
how-
conspiracy.
I love how uncomfortable. The
He's
guy
like,
who's made.
Y'all start, y'all know why I was uncomfortable. Y'all start dropping names. Y'all start saying, y'all wasn't even dropping names. Y'all was dropping names and where people live. Oh, yeah. Otis Jackson. Yeah, he saw who shot Kennedy. He stay on Kings Highway. I'm like, hey,
It's not like
whoa.
we weren't doxing people.
It felt like you were involving me in what you knew. If you know who killed the president, then you know. Don't tell me. Don't get me involved. Don't drag me into no, I seen the movies. I can't run. I can't, like, not from the cops like that. Like you see in the movies when the federal government is after somebody, they got the drones and the SWAT guys. I ain't Jason Bourne.
Even in
Picture
his.
you
Even in
hopping a
his.
fence.
Exactly. Like exactly. I can't run.
The fence just falling
Nah, buddy.
Even in his nervous paranoia, he lives in narcissism.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that you think that would be required to find you?
Yeah.
Oh,
in. A drone?
Yeah.
they aren't going
They
to
would
deploy a
set up-
drone.
Set up some vans outside.
They're
the
gonna-
building guys coming through the windows.
No.
I
They're
can't.
sending a secretary on her lunch break to save on on payroll.
Man, you
Mr.
gotta-
Terrell, we heard you're no threat whatsoever.
Throw some Doritos on
Yeah.
the street. He'll show up.
Hey,
I
y'all.
will do it. Anybody gonna finish the?
Gotcha.
Got me.
Tom
So
Brown.
don't know.
My day's been just like the elevator, broken and not working with 3 people trapped up on the fourth floor.
Oh,
God,
Pretty
it's
drastic
not
and
good.
dark. And
Wow, interesting.
my friend Sean left his wife in an elevator that was stuck once.
Sounds.
did you call him a coward?
No, like the fire department was coming in
Oh.
as he was leaving. We were going on a road trip and he needed to leave, and so he's like, "Bye, Kathy."
While she was still in the elevator. He didn't wait till she got out the elevator before he left.
Now, what we
That's
might
a man in charge.
what we might be able to do, remember that, okay? Because I'm working on this, and I think it's going to happen. That for Dogs on Film next Wednesday,
Okay.
it won't be recorded.
That could only mean one thing.
That we would have Sean live in studio, and maybe we could ask a few stories. Now, I'm very protective of him because I know how he can get,
Oh boy.
and that's why we edit some of the stuff on there.
You sound like Joe Rogan saying he feels responsible for the Kobe thing because he shouldn't have ever talked Ari Shafir into getting a smartphone again.
Okay, now that may be the funniest joke Joe Rogan's made in the last 10 years of his
Because he
career.
said Ari had a flip phone. And he goes, I kind of feel responsible because he's a psychopath. and
Yeah.
He's got problems.
Only if you just want to. Sean has a flip phone. Let's never get him a smartphone. We've learned this lesson now.
As long as you, I don't know if you've seen any, you probably haven't seen any of the Avengers films, have you?
No.
There's a moment where Black Widow needs to calm down the Hulk.
And this is Scarlett Johansson.
And Scarlett Johansson does Scarlett Johansson things, and the Hulk naturally
Wait,
calms
what do you
down.
mean
So I'm
Scarlett
wondering,
Johansson thing?
like,
Like
she,
a
she
hand
goes
job?
like, no, it's not a job of hand.
Like,
But she does take.
I saw Match
she
Point where she
takes-
smoked a cigarette and twirled a glass of wine and. Go on.
And good lord, what just happened there?
Yeah.
But essentially, she takes hold of his hand, calms him down,
Mm-hmm.
so he is no longer angry. He can go back to regular human being, Dr. Banner. Can you do that with Sean if you have to? Can you be Scarlett Johansson to his Hulk?
I can guide him a little bit.
Okay, okay, as
'Cause
long as you can-
You've
you-
heard
you
the
sh-
way I question him at times.
Okay.
And you guys know me well enough and know Sean
Yeah.
at least well enough to
Bring it on, baby.
to listen to how I kind of guide him along the way.
Bring him
at
on,
times.
baby. Then let's bring him on.
The only thing is getting him here this early.
Oh, boy.
So I've already talked to his wife.
Oh boy.
I'm like,
And he can make it up elevators.
he can, yeah, even with his feet.
Okay.
That's good for him.
Okay.
Elevators as opposed to stairs.
How about these chairs? Are they going to be comfortable for Sean?
Oh, he sits in a bar stool. all the
climb
time.
up
Just checking.
it.
Okay.
I got the Irish curse.
We got to make sure that
Yeah.
bathroom's available because he's going to want to go to the
gotta
bathroom
go to
at
the
some
bathroom.
point.
And
I'd
actually,
imagine.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
the thing is, like, when he has to go to the bathroom, he really does have to go because of the surgery he had when he was farting out of his penis.
Gotcha, that because that,
So,
of
like,
course, how can we forget that? So let's definitely make sure he's comfortable when
Like,
he's here.
imagine trying to urinate yourself,
Mm.
and then all of a sudden he needs to go, and all of a sudden outside the door, this is constantly happening. You hear him because you can't not hear him.
I gotta
Right.
go.
Yeah. Oh, come on, Gardner, I gotta go, and he just starts banging on the door. He's like, "Come on, it hurts." And so
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
so you have to like get out of the way, let him in there, and then he just starts screaming from the bathroom sometimes for fun. So
I guess you
Oh,
gotta have a
no.
look. I
No,
guess
let
you.
me do a live read.
I guess you just.
Let me just.
Okay. Okay.
First of all, the Snappy Bigman coffee is delightful. And another thing, huge thank you to Gastropit last night. It was a very fun time. You guys should get some barbecue there over the weekend. Wonderful place. Sophie's packed house. My gosh, wonderful show. And our friends at Mighty Cricket stopped by. I had cricket protein brownies, Travis, and the week before she'd made them with THC Company. She said they were a delight. You ain't so mad about cricket protein anymore, are you?
I love cricket protein.
Uh-huh. So looking forward to doing some more stuff with them. And I just want to say thanks to everybody that came out last night. All the performers did well. We had a bunch of young guys on.
There we go. I like young people. They are delicious.
Our older brother, Will O'Donnell, suggested
Ah.
some young guns that hadn't done the show.
Okay.
And they all delivered. It was really
Nice,
cool.
Nice. That was awesome.
They were all under 25, I think. Or
Nice.
if not under, oh, yeah.
I love
Tommy's
young-
boy, Ronaldo, is maybe 22, 21.
Nice. Talented young people that'll take my
Yeah.
job. Absolutely.
Everybody did a great job last night.
Good.
So thank you. Sophie's, Thursdays, every week.
Good. Good.
Boom.
Good job.
Go ahead and do your stupid
No,
thing.
I was just gonna go. I guess when it comes to Sean, you just gotta have sympathy for the devil. The Rolling Stone are coming to St. Louis.
That's where you went?
That's all I got.
there it was.
There. The Stones are coming to the Lou June 27th. Tickets go on sale here in town next week on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 10 a.m. A limited number of exclusive VIP packages will be made available. Your boy won't be buying that one, but he will be probably buying a ticket, Chris. I have wanted to see the Stones for quite some time. However, they never make a stop in the metro area. And generally when they are in another city, tickets be a little bit pricey for your boy. But now
We're still talking about you.
Yeah, talking about me specifically. But yeah, they're coming to the Lou, the Dome, the America's
The
Dome.
dome.
The Dome at America Center on the 26th. Gonna be a fun summer. Do you like the Stones? Do you like the old school?
Oh, yeah, they're fantastic. I don't know that I need to go, though.
Have you ever seen them? Do you want to see them?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick right now.
Okay.
I don't have, they're amazing, and I know they're legends and everything, but it's not that appealing to me.
Okay, that's fair.
It would be
I think
appealing
that's
I'm not
to
saying
me.
I wouldn't go.
Yeah.
I'm just not marking it. Like, if the replacements came through, which I don't think they did, I'd be like, fuck, I need to go. I need to go check that. It's weird. Or, like, even a band like, I'm really getting deep here, Refused came through again. They did come through the pageant. Like, I'd be, like, pumped about that. But Rolling Stones, I love and put in my, you have to admit they're one of the best ever. But
Yeah,
I just
mean,
don't have the
there's
motivation.
legit argument to be made that they're the
They
greatest
are.
rock group of all time.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. And I think that's kind of why I want to see them. I've wanted to see them, like I said, one time I think I tried to see them in Vegas, and it's Vegas, so those tickets, starting prices were $175, $200, and your boy at the time already had an alcohol budget to attend to.
Yeah.
So I didn't roll deep in the pockets. But now that I've become an international screenwriter and, of course, award-winning podcast host,
Did you?
I can now go to local concerts when the Rolling Stones come to town.
What award?
Oh, many. I
Can you name one?
don't want to be braggadocious running off my resume of
But you already
accomplishments.
brought it up.
I brought it up just to give you a snapshot of who I am as a person, and that's successful and accomplished.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Gardner. Okay.
I would I was wondering if they had considered placing this concert at Busch Stadium
Yes.
because then my follow-up question would be, are the Rolling Stones blacker than Paul McCartney? Because if so, then they would usurp McCartney as the quote unquote blackest act at Busch Stadium
Yes,
since they started doing concerts in 2008 again.
I agree.
So, Travis, I'm asking you, what would your community say? Are the Rolling Stones blacker than McCartney?
I would say the Rolling Stones may edge out
Okay.
McCartney just a little bit, in my opinion.
Okay.
Mainly because they were some of the earliest acts to um, work with a lot of black artists. Like they were willing to cross genres because they grew up on the music. They grew up on R&B. They grew up on Motown. So they related to a lot of black artists, and they put a lot of black background singers on as well. They highlighted a lot of black talent as well, and they've always appeared to have a good relationship with a lot of black legends, black musical legends of the past. They
Mm-hmm.
seem to speak highly of Mick Jagger. You know, they speak highly of these guys still to this day. So I feel like the Rolling Stones would edge them out.
Yeah. Congratulations, McCartney.
I think
Still at the top.
for me, what did it? Like I've always have known their music, but I wasn't a fan until I saw the documentary. I think it was like a 4-hour documentary about just it's just they were following the Stones literally in the apex as they were blowing up, and this documentary was so raw. Like it was like these guys were literally behaving like a camera wasn't there. There were a scene or two where like Mick at some point just takes a bump in the middle of the camera. I'm like, no one, they're gonna not gonna edit that out, are they? Oh, okay. And so they literally like were the antithesis of like rock stars, like rock gods. Like everywhere they went, like people melted. And I'm like, okay, let me find out what these boys about. And the more I've gotten to know their music, the more of a fan I've become. And knowing where they've been inspired, even in their music, is even in like, okay, I can rock with the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
I like what I'm hearing. I'm liking what they about. They about that life. So I
Pop,
want
pop.
to check them out.
There it is. Our guest's here early. So, Gardner, if you're up for a cigarette, you want to take a quick break?
Yeah, we can do that. Hold on one second. Yeah.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. So we are live. Be back right in just a minute with the great Greg Fitzsimmons. Greg, if you'd let me do my intro, I'll
right,
get to
sorry.
that. No, do anything you want. You're Greg Fitzsimmons. You're Grapefruit
I
Simmons.
don't know. I show up and we're sitting in your lounge for like a half hour chewing the fat. I'm like, we gonna do a podcast here?
Listen, Greg, I needed you comfortable. This is going to be
All
the
right.
best 2 hours of your life. It's going to go
The
really
foot
well.
massage was nice.
I knew that was kind of your thing.
Yeah.
So you see these paws? I had to
Yeah.
get them on you. You
Big
know?
meaty paws.
That's gross.
Did you hear the just contempt in his voice?
Where'd you get the
Meaty
sweater? Was it a
paws.
Christmas sweater? It's like a
What's it?
horrible 80s disco kind of.
Yeah,
It's weird.
it is. I agree. I wore it to distract you, actually. Greg Fitzsimmons is autistic, and I take advantage of that
Yes.
during the show. Chris Dem and Travis Terrell at Midcoast Studio, where Greg Fitzsimmons has been relaxing all morning. He cooked up
Yeah.
breakfast, and he's settled in. We're
Yeah.
excited to have him. And you do love doing long podcasts with people you barely know.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
I feel like I know you guys though.
what man.
Couple
four,
times.
Five, I want it technically. I think 5 times, 4 times through call-ins or something like
Yeah.
that.
You've been very gracious.
I was just telling Greg, Ian Edwards wrongfully accused us of sucking the first time we had him in, and then
He
we had
did.
improved quite a
He
bit.
did. He was proud of us.
That I'd okey-doked him in the request email about the opportunity at the
Yeah.
time. Do you feel the same way? Or are you still getting the vibe that we're still kind of...
No, but there's something exciting about people being that new. Like I remember first coming on. You guys are like puppies. You were so happy, and it's
so much.
Now-
it's infectious.
Right. You get then a few years later, you've kind of made the rounds like, Fitzy's
Yeah,
back.
right,
Hey.
right.
All right.
You're just asking questions from the Wikipedia page. So, what was it like writing for Ellen?
All right, Greg. If you're going to bring up that, is the NDA expired yet?
No, it'll never expire.
That's how NDAs work in this
Yeah,
town.
no, you can never talk.
Ever.
All
Yeah.
right. Do you have any questions?
What? Wait, all the questions we had were questions that were probably
you
under
took
his
Team
NDA.
Ellen in the Fitzsimmons Ellen fiasco.
I just like she gives black people a lot of money. I gotta turn a blind eye sometimes.
Yeah, actually, they call her FEMA behind her back.
Greg Fitzsimmons is at the Helium Comedy Club all weekend long. Highly recommend you go and see him. He is not a black comic, so we need you guys to get in there and see.
Yeah, I hear that's the thing in St. Louis. Is they support the black comics and not the white comics.
See, I think black comics just do a really good job of marketing themselves. See, you're hanging out here eating breakfast with us. They're out pounding the pavement, handing out flyers and everything.
Yeah, well, you know, my first writing job on TV, which was 15 years ago, was for Cedric the Entertainer, a good St. Louis comic.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I wrote
St.
for
Louis
him for a
comic.
couple years, and
What show was that?
it was called Cedric the Entertainer Presents. It was on Fox. It was a
Okay.
sketch show.
I remember
And I
it.
got to tell you something. There, of all the, and I've worked for a lot of talented people
Right.
in my life.
Right.
Bill Maher, Wanda Sykes, Jamie Foxx, mostly black people. And that's the funny thing is once
Right.
you in Hollywood, once you write for one type of show, that's what you are.
Right.
I'm the black guy. Wrote for Patrice O'Neill. I wrote for Affion Crockett. Like every black act I wrote for.
Right.
But Cedric is the most talented human being I've ever worked with. He was
Wow.
we would come up with jokes, we would riff jokes for a couple hours. My job was to write the monologue with him.
Okay.
And we'd sit around and riff a couple hours here, a couple hours there during the week. And then on show night, I would just give him some bullet points. He'd be in his makeup chair. He'd look at it for like 3 minutes. And then he'd be like, all right, I'm good, Fitzdog. And then he would just go out and he would do a 10-minute monologue and nail it into a dance routine that he'd choreographed that week that was like pretty extensive dance
Right.
routine with the Sensations, which was the dancers that were
Right.
like sharp. They were
Right.
sharp.
Sensations. I
And then
forgot
he'd come
about
out and
that.
do sketches, and he had a dozen characters that were completely different from each other. They were over the top. This guy, that show should have stayed on the air. It was shocking. Fox had it on. It was the #1 black show on TV,
Wow.
and it got canceled.
How? What is the difference? So what's the difference between a show that lasts, like even just recently with Crashing, like it felt like that was so beloved and then gets cut short. You've been on a bunch of different types of shows. What's the difference between the show like the Cedric Entertainer Presents and Crashing that gets cut short early and
I don't
something
know
that
that
moves
Crashing.
forward?
I don't think Crashing was cut short early. I think it was sort of run its course. Like
Yeah.
the narrative was over. You know, he started out, he was sleeping on couches.
Right.
He was just divorced. Then the second season, he's like starting to get his legs. He's getting his first breaks. And in the third season, it ends with him like passed in at the comedy club. He's got the girl back. And it sort of felt like, I think Judd Apatow just sort of looked at all these British shows that do 2 or 3 seasons and out, 8 episodes a season.
Right.
And you tell a story and you're done.
That makes sense. Did you identify with what they were going through on the show? It was like being a writer and going through what you've
It was
gone
hard
through
for me
yourself.
because everybody was white. So writing for them, I was just
My man.
confused.
That's my man right there.
How do these people talk? Why are they so quiet? Nobody owes any money. They have great credit scores. I can't tap into this.
Filming starts on time.
Yeah, right.
Have you worked any reality TV shows?
Have I worked in reality? Well, I did one show with, you know, T.I., the rapper T.I.?
Yeah.
So he's got a wife named Tiny.
Yeah.
And so VH1 hired me to, I was a showrunner on this show with Tiny, and it was,
Was it with you and the entire family in that? Was that?
no, not that one.
Okay.
No. I worked on one that was a very short-lived talk show, Tiny Tonight it was called.
Oh, okay.
And it was 3 of her ghetto fabulous girlfriends from Atlanta. And they would all show up, and it was kind of reality, kind of talk show, it was a hybrid. And you want to talk about coming late to set. These women would all sit in their trailers, and it became a pissing contest about
to see
whoever
who
showed
can, the latest.
the
is
latest was the diva. That was it. So they would outdo each other, and we had a union crew set up.
Oh my god.
Union crew.
Yeah.
You know what that cost an hour?
That's a lot.
And we would start 3 hours late. And they'd be in their trailers,
Oh,
smoking
that
blunts,
sounds horrible.
drinking scissor. You know what scissor
Yes.
Like
is?
actually? Like
Yeah,
you're not just making
Drinking
that up.
scissor.
Oh my god.
And at one point I walk in after 2.5 hours. I finally bang down to Tiny's door and I go, Tiny, what's going on? I go, your hair isn't done. And she goes, yeah, it's because my hairdresser's getting her nails done
No,
across the street. And in the meantime, the warm-up person had been working for 3 hours straight. And
Wait,
you got-
3 hour.
Oh,
and you
no.
got to understand
Warm-
something. You got to understand
They
something.
don't have 3 hours of material.
They don't have 3 hours of material.
No one has
and the
3 hours of
audience is,
material.
nobody's showing up to see Tiny's show.
No.
So you got to pay people. You give them $50, and a lot of times you go to methadone clinics. I'm not making this up. You get heroin addicts.
Start getting the itch.
You get high school kids that are there on like tours, and so you give the warm-up person some candy, and they hand that out, and they do their act, and then they're getting people to dance, whatever. You want to guess who the warm-up person was that I hired?
Wait, what year was this?
This was, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago. I'll just tell you that this person became famous.
Tiffany Haddish.
Nope, you're close. In gender and race, you're close.
Wouldn't be Sherry Shepherd. She was already famous. Son of a gun. I'm not sure. I have nothing.
Saturday Night Live,
No kidding.
Leslie
Leslie.
Jones?
Leslie
Wow.
Jones.
Wow, she had to
She
do.
had a towel wiping her face.
Oh my
I
goodness.
forget.
Sweat.
I forget Leslie's a stand-up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
And she had to work it for
She had
3
to work for
whole
3
hours.
after, and I think I was paying her
Oh
$200.
my
After 2
God.
hours, she was like, "Greg, you gotta give me some more money." I was like, "All right, I'll get you another 100 and some more candy for the heroin addict." Yeah,
So how did you become the?
she got SNL like literally 2 weeks later.
Good for her, because if you
Yeah.
do 3 hours of that, that's
yeah.
you
Yeah.
deserve the
Right.
back.
Backhanded Greg on
Right.
the way out the door.
Yeah.
So how did you become the white black man whisperer? How did you?
Well,
how
Louis
did you follow
C.K.
that?
was a writer on Cedric's show. He was like the co-EP. And my son was like a year old. And I was on the phone with Louis. I was in some godforsaken place. I think it was St. Louis. And
That's the Fitzy I love.
and I was like, man, I'm dying out here. I said, I'm dying. I said, I'm missing my son's childhood. I'm gone like every other weekend.
Right.
And I go, you got to help me. And so he calls me back and he goes, come in on Monday. I got you a meeting with Cedric. They're looking for a monologue guy. So I spent the whole weekend just writing jokes for Cedric. And there was one that he liked. At the time, reality shows were kind of new, like these
Right.
Survivor shows.
Right.
Because this is going back 15 years. And like Survive. And the whole premise was that no matter how talented they are, no matter how efficient they are, the black person's always the first one kicked off the island. And so I had like 7 or 8 funny beats on it, and he just was like, "Yeah, you're hired. You're hired. Come back
It
tomorrow."
was that quick.
Yeah,
And then
Oh,
it's been
wow.
it's been a world of black entertainment ever since.
and
That's
that's been
awesome.
it. Yeah,
Working-
and Ian Edwards was writing on that show.
That makes sense too,
Yeah.
like the timeline and everything. That's so crazy how just the talented people, how they cream rises to the top. Seriously, it's very interesting to see people's career trajectories. Working with black comics like Patrice O'Neill, we lost him. Do you think that he would be considered? Would he be at this point, if he was still around? Would people be kind of looking at him in a Chappelle, Burr kind of, I guess, stature point?
No, I think Patrice was great, but I don't think he was that great.
Yeah.
I think he was outrageous,
Right.
but I mean that's just my opinion.
No, I appreciate that. I just feel like so many people love that guy and
Yeah.
talk about it. And
yeah,
then-
he was great.
Yeah, and that happens.
And he used to, I started in Boston, and he started a bunch of years after me. So when he first started coming to New York, he would stay with me. But I lived on I live in a 6th floor of a walk-up in Little Italy. And so he shows up and he's got all his bags. And I had been staying at a place in Chelsea, and then I moved to this place in Little Italy. So he comes for the first time, and he carries his bags up 6 flights of stairs. I got this shitty, can I curse on this?
Yeah.
I got this shitty fold-out couch.
Right.
And he's sleeping on the couch, and there's got a tin ceiling, and you can hear mice crawling around on the tin ceiling. So the next morning, he packs his shit, and I go, "Where you going?" He goes, "Greg, I ain't staying in this fucking place again." And he got in his car and he drove back to Boston. And then
What?
then he started staying with Bill Burr after that.
He'd had enough of your
Yeah.
life for
Yeah.
one night.
Right. I remember that place. It was so old. It was a tenement, and it was above the Ravenite Social Club, which was John Gotti's headquarters.
Right.
And it was so old that it was tilted, and you'd go up the stairs, and you'd almost fall over every time you went up the stairs because they shifted, so it was like going up a ladder. And then you get into the apartment. If you dropped an orange, it would race to the side of the apartment. And so the shower had the drain was in the center of the shower, and so the water would start to build up on one side, and it would start to spill over the edge of the thing because it was only like a low step over thing.
Right.
And so you'd have to, like, halfway through the shower, kick water
Kick water
into the
towards the
drain in the
center.
middle. Yeah.
You got really efficient at showering,
Yeah.
like a prison shower, right?
Yeah.
real fast. Travis, you were in New York. Did you experience anything like that?
No, I stayed in a old shitty apartment in Bushwick, so that was the
no
the
rats.
life. No, no,
Privilege.
well, no, there were
Privilege.
rats. There were all rats, of course.
Oh,
there were
yeah,
always
there's rats
always
everywhere.
Rats everywhere. But no.
Yeah.
As far as do you enjoy? Would you rather still be in a writer? Would you rather do the writers' room or continue to just do stand up? If you had to choose one of the other.
Well,
Never stopped writing though. have you?
Yeah, you really don't stop writing. That's why I've always been curious. Are you more comfortable in a writer's room, you feel, or do you still enjoy getting out there, writing something new for a different audience?
I really do like both. They're different muscles
Mm-hmm.
and they're different lifestyles. And my wife definitely prefers me to write.
Okay.
She's always on me to just write. She
Right.
doesn't want me going on the road.
Okay.
And
He's
I
such-
like
he's such
being,
a tomcat on the road. She knows.
yeah.
Classic Greg Fitzsimmons.
Well, that's actually funny because, like, I've never cheated on her, and only because I think if I didn't love her so much, I'd probably cheat on her. But I just wouldn't because I think the world of her. I think she's an amazing woman, and she's so supportive, and but I want to. I really do. And like last night, this girl shows up, and she was good looking, and she's sitting in the
How
front
good looking?
row. Like she was like an 8.
A here 8 or an LA?
No, a St. Louis 10.
Okay, thank you.
And I
Thank
go,
you for specifying.
And I go, who are you here with? She goes, I just came alone. And I was just like, once again, I was just like, oh yeah, that would have been the one tonight.
Yeah.
And then I picture like, what if in my 80s with my wife,
Right.
and we're sitting on the front porch, we're in rocking chairs, and she's like, Greg, all those years you went on the road. Apparently she's an old Jew. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
I was gonna say I thought she was like Irish.
All those years you went on the road, and I'm sure there was a lot of temptation. Oh, it must have been rough. And I'm sure you slipped sometimes. God knows you're only human. You probably had sex with women in St. Louis that came to the show alone. Asian women in Austin, Texas.
Good feet.
But I never cared because you'd come home and you treated me like a princess and you were a great husband and a good father. So I never minded. And I'd be like, fuck!
What could have been? You could have enjoyed yourself.
And I
in
can't
St.
go
Louis.
back. I can't find that girl.
No, that's like she ain't around
My
anymore.
dick doesn't work anymore.
No, no, that's terrible.
Yeah.
And you're doing C rooms at that point?
Yeah.
Like the same girls aren't coming out for that
Yeah.
show. That's a tough. What about cruise ships? Would you do cruise ships at that age?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
What a nice way to retire.
I did the Tom Joyner morning cruise.
Yeah.
And and a ton of comedians do it.
You would
and
kill. They would all
Yeah.
love
It
you.
is fast. I give it to comedians who are able to do that. I don't know if I could do shows and be on the boat with the audience. At
I
the
think if you're
same
single,
time.
you
Yeah.
probably just run through it, right?
A lot of the comedians, of course, bring their significant others. But I even still, I was like, after I feel like some comedians will be like, all right, I've done my 15, ready not to see these people ever again.
You know what, though? It's like if I'm in my 70s and I'm retired
Okay.
and I can go on a cruise for free with my wife if I do stand-up once
Yeah.
or twice and they pay you.
Yeah.
Pay you, I don't know what they pay. What do they pay you on a
I
cruise?
don't know. It's a lot of.
I'll tell you who's on
Tony
one that I
Robbins I've
respect
seen,
right
and
now.
yeah.
Alonzo Bowden's been on like 2 in the last
Ernest
month.
J,
Doing
I've
like
seen.
jazz,
Really?
jazz something. They pay for him to come on there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to pay me $5,000 and I get a free trip with my wife and I'm on a cruise, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do like 4 of those a year.
Yeah. Okay. All
Okay.
right,
That's
cool.
$20,000.
We got him
Yeah.
set.
Okay. I like,
We've got the
okay.
next phase of
I-
Fitzsimmons' career.
I'm always so overly concerned for comedians and their comfort
I-
because they're naturally uncomfortable
What-
people.
What about you this weekend? Is this an Explore St. Louis, catch a museum?
Actually, it is.
weekend? Is it really?
I love St. Louis. I really do. And it's like one of those cities where it was one of the first places I headlined. So, you know, when you're a young stand-up, you actually go out and see the city. Once you get older, you just hole up in the room and
Masturbate and write.
masturbate and do emails. And so, but St. Louis, I've always had a place in my heart because it was one of the first places I'd gone. And there's a woman who writes for whatever your local paper is. And she interviewed me this week. And she invited me out to, wait, let me just look it up. Her name is Danya Artemisi. Does that mean anything?
What?
Oh,
There's
man.
there's
This sounds like a made up.
there's a concert on Saturday night, and it's Walter Trout, Charlie Berry, who's Chuck's grandson,
Is this the St. Louis American?
Richard Fortus from Guns N' Roses, like all these. It's like this B.B. King's all-star band.
Okay.
And so I can't make the show Saturday night, but they've got a sound check, and they're going to let me come at 3:30.
Oh,
on
nice.
Saturday.
That's cool.
So I'm going to go to that, and then I'm going to go to the was it the Lick and Stick? What's the barbecue place?
Oh,
I mean, you got a
Stick
few.
something.
Stick. Oh, there's Pappy's. There's Sugar
Salt
Fire.
and Smoke.
Salt and Smoke. Okay.
I told you there
Oh,
was
it's good.
stick in it.
yeah.
So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna take the feature act. Is a guy that I really like out of Philly that I'm working with,
Nice.
and so I'm gonna take him out. He's a fat guy. We're gonna take him for some barbecue. Usually you
Gonna
buy
let him settle in.
lunch for the feature. I'm worried about how much this guy will take down.
into your
Yeah.
bowl.
Even with St. Louis pricing, you're like, listen,
Yeah, yeah,
this could get out of hand.
yeah. Can we stick to one farm animal?
It's gonna be hard for me to not walk by Salt and Smoke now and just go, oh, there's a licking stick.
Lick
I
and
don't know where that
stick.
came from. The lick and stick.
Will you take a selfie where it looks like Chuck Berry's pissing on you on the?
Why would he do
what? There's a statue by Salt and Smoke of Chuck Berry. It'd be a good time.
He did other things besides, you know.
Farted-
Yeah, you know what
farted
else he
on
did?
women.
You know what else he did? He installed video cameras under the toilet seat.
That happened.
Yeah.
He is the greatest.
He's
though.
fantastic.
the greatest rock and roll guy of all time. As a matter of fact, that's my walk-up music this week on the
I like
at the
that.
show. Is
That's a
Sweet
good
Little
call.
16. Yeah.
No kidding. That's a good song name.
You
too.
couldn't write Sweet Little 16 today. You have to be Sweet Little 19.
Yeah. Sweet 19 and a half.
You may want to
Yeah.
just avoid the ages completely.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah.
Sweet girl.
Well,
the
then-
best you can do in 2020.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When you're not taking features out for barbecue buffets, did have a question. You've acted before.
Sure.
We were curious about this.
Yes.
Obviously, the commercials in the '90s that were a huge hit. other things that you've acted in. Is there a reason, or do you feel like you wanted to act more? Would you still act? We were talking about that because you do have 50 different skills, but you don't act a ton. Is there a reason for that? Do you ever want to? Did you ever want to be more of an actor?
I don't know. I feel like the one thing that's probably held me back is I'm not good.
Oh, fooling me right now.
No, I went to acting school for 2 years. I went to
Right.
the Neighborhood Playhouse, which is a very respected acting school in
Right.
New York. And I was never a good auditioner.
Really?
Like, I've always been a good actor. Like, when people give me roles,
Yeah.
I do them and everybody's very happy. But when I go into the room to audition, I just feel as a stand-up, I think you're expecting a certain kind of feedback.
Yeah.
And I think as a stand-up, you have to take control. And a lot of times when you act, you have to fit in more. You're not the alpha.
Right.
And I think my energy was never right. It was always too big, I think. So all the acting I've done is pretty much roles I've been given. I don't know that I've ever auditioned for some. Oh, no.
Okay.
I auditioned for Andy Dick when I was just a kid. And he hired me to do some sketches on his show. But, I'd certainly like to do more of it. I mean, if Hollywood's listening to this podcast,
They are. They are.
you never know.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
Oh, there he is. Check him out.
how dare you?
Oh, wow.
It's a producer. Look at it. The Greg Fitzsimmons Rogaine commercial.
Outstanding.
You handsome devil. Look at you. Those are kind eyes.
I was 29 years old. And
whole
my
world in front
my
of you.
agent calls me up and he goes, "Hey, we got an offer for you. No audition for a campaign, a series of commercials." I go, "That's amazing. What is it?" He goes, "It's going to pay you." Tells me the amount of money. I go, "That's fantastic. What is it?" He goes, "They're going to give you a lifetime supply of the product." I said, "What is it?" He said, "It's Rogaine." I go, "Yeah, but my hair's not falling out." And now you can see the photo. And it is the crown. The crown is starting to. And so I was like, I'm not doing that. And he's like, but then I was moving to L.A.
Yeah.
That in like 3 months. I had no health insurance. Had no money in the bank. And so my wife, well, she would have been my wife 6 months later, was like, just do it. My agent's like, nobody's going to see it. It's going to be like on ESPN 12 at 3 in the morning
Right.
during women's like horseshoes. So I do it. Cut to March Madness. I'm on every game of March Madness. I'm walking down the street, and my tagline was, I'm looking at the bottle, and I go, 4 out of 5. I like my chances.
I remember that.
And I'm walking down the street, total strangers are going, "Hey, dude, I like my chances." Every guy I've ever met is calling me, leaving messages on my answering machine. "Like my chances, Greg." I don't like your chances of getting any other acting work.
I think it all went okay for the rest of us. What about stand-up comedy? About people getting into it in 2020? Are you happy?
Just
Are you happy with the
Stop.
the people getting
Stop.
into things now?
It's not freaking, bowling.
Right.
It's not bowling.
It's not
Not
a leisurely
bowling.
thing. It is
Just
a grinding lifestyle.
Stop.
Yeah.
The problem is like, first of all, you got all these celebrities
Right.
that are like, either they got Me Too'd, so they can't get real acting work anymore, so they start doing stand-up, or you've got guys that just are, their careers are
Why did
slipping.
I just immediately go to 3 people?
Oh,
when you said that, I go, oh.
You were all thinking
yeah,
of-
that's exactly what happened.
You're thinking of the same one.
And then you got every
kid.
kid's coming out of
Oh,
college.
no.
Their parents pay for them to go to college. In college, like, they take freaking comedy writing classes and they take improv classes, and then they get out, and then their parents pay for their apartment in Hollywood, and they take classes at UCB, and they start doing stand-up, and they get up there, and they're all the same. They have zero life experience. They haven't traveled. They haven't been on drugs. They haven't done anything interesting, and they're up there talking about nothing. And all these clubs keep opening, and the audience and the comedian are the same because everybody in the audience does stand-up too. And it's this weird, incestuous, oh my God. Just leave it to the people that are damaged.
Yeah.
Just leave it to the
Ha-
damage.
that have to have been absolutely just through the filthy ringer,
Right,
driving
that gave
the
their lives
Northeast
to
in
it.
February
Right.
to go make $30
These
somewhere.
kids don't leave town. They don't
No,
go on
that's
the
not it.
road. I mean, the kid that's featured for me this week,
Yeah.
he's making $500. He had to fly himself out, staying on a friend's couch. I mean,
And to feature
and he's
and
got
to
a
go-
wife and a kid at home.
and to feature in a different city is a big deal.
Right, he's
Like,
trying to
that's-
grow as a comic.
Right, and that's
And he is
So you wanna be-
overweight.
he eats so much, doesn't he? I know how that goes.
You're not skinny. Or would you say you're up or down in your weight right now?
Way up.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. I mean, I've had many ups and downs.
What are you
I do
coming
have
in at
flex.
now? Can I guess?
Yeah, please.
How tall are you?
6'3.5".
Damn.
Gotta get
All
the
right,
half.
so I got to say you're 250.
Thank you, Greg.
Really?
You're more than 250.
270 right now. Yeah.
Damn.
But I've been way higher, and then I've been down in the flex.
I got a
Weights.
diet idea for you. I just thought of this the
What do
other
you
day.
want? What do you want to do?
It's called the eat and shit diet.
Okay.
And what you do is you eat.
Mm-hmm.
You can eat a meal. And the great thing about this diet, anything you want, as much as
Barbecue,
you want, barbecue,
pizza.
carbs, whatever.
Okay.
But then you can't eat again until you take a shit.
Okay.
You think of it as like your body's like a nightclub. Like
Right.
you let a bunch of people in,
One in,
and then
one
the bouncer stops it, put up that little red velvet rope, stops them until those people leave out the back door.
Got it.
And the thing is don't let in like Dairy Queen and
Yeah.
Burger King.
Little
you know,
little thoughts.
yeah, let in the think of like vegetables are like the ugly people that you keep online while the good ones come in.
Right.
And then Taco Bell guy, he's having a fight on the way out. He's throwing
It's a
up.
bad deal.
It's ugly in the back door.
Yeah. I think what you've just laid out is the plan that I'm going to go through, and then I'm going to report back to you, and you can put those on your podcast.
Yeah.
And listen how I've helped this young man in the Midwest, and I've changed his life for
Right.
the better with the 1 in, 1 out diet.
That's it.
That's the Greg Fitzsimmons
One
way.
in, one out. Yeah, right.
Helium Comedy Club this weekend. Anything else we need to keep an eye? I love your podcast, man. I've been listening to it.
Fitz Dog Radio.
Been listening to it for as long as you've started it, and it's been over a decade. Would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? It's
It
strange.
is
to say
weird.
that.
I've done like 850 episodes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What are you
Crazy.
with the podcast? Two things, and I can't remember if I've asked you this before or not. Was the Bob's Muda thing a work between the two of you?
Was it a prank or was it real?
Yeah, like pro wrestling. A work would be like.
Well,
you know,
that's the
they're-
beauty of it is nobody's ever going to know.
I like
We
that.
had a fight.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I didn't plan anything.
Yeah. It's kind of perfect that it happened, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Who's the guest that surprised you the most over the years?
Guess that's surprised. Probably Belladonna, the porn star.
Really?
She turned out to be vegan, and she only did sex scenes like 2 months of the year, and the rest of the time she was in great shape.
Yeah.
And I used to have a studio at my house, and she got naked, and then
This
we
is
went,
not a video podcast.
and then we went into my hot tub. Meanwhile, like my room where my wife was sleeping, because we used to do the podcast at like 11 o'clock at night. My wife is sleeping. We're 8 feet away. I'm naked in my hot tub with a porn star,
Outstanding.
and I'm like, I can't do this at my house anymore.
That's
This
why
is
you got
wrong.
the office studio.
Yeah, so I got the office studio.
This is wrong.
Instead of saying I'm probably not going to get naked in a hot tub with a porn star, you just, well, we need to move off site.
Don't stop the activity.
Yeah.
Correct.
Just move it
Yeah.
a
Right.
couple
That was-
blocks down the
That
road.
was my decision in college because I had earrings at the time and I'd gotten into like the 10th fight in a month. And I'm like, I'm going to take these out. They're going to get ripped out rather
Yeah,
than being
right,
like,
right, right.
hey, maybe you're a fucking idiot. Stop getting
Yeah.
into fights at bars and stuff.
Why
yeah.
are you wearing loop earrings?
But-
in 2008?
They were
They were plugs.
Yeah, that's
All
weird.
right.
That was a big question too.
You used to scrap, Greg. I feel like you've
Yeah, I
probably
did. I
gotten
used to
into
fight a lot.
Yeah.
I spent 3 different weekends in jail. I always had a knack of getting arrested on a Friday night late.
Oh.
And then the judge comes in on Monday
Oh,
at
no.
9.
No.
Gardner's like,
Spend-
yeah, been there.
Yes, you got to spend the whole weekend in jail. And 2 of the times, no windows. They keep the lights on 24 hours a day. No clock, no watch.
that's bad.
You have no fucking idea
That would
where
be.
you are and when.
Ah,
Yeah,
that sounds
and it's
awful.
cold.
Were you a cool guy? I may have tried to be a cool guy and be like, I don't need your bologna sandwich. And then like an hour later, I'm like, fuck, I'm hungry.
Oh, yeah.
So hungry.
I started yelling at one guy, and he reached in and he grabbed me by the bangs when I had them, and he started slamming my head against the side of the cell
Where was this at? In the Northeast?
in New York.
In New York.
And he tore my hair like it was bleeding.
What the what?
And so I kept pulling it more to rub the blood over my face so it would look worse. But I was in there for another couple days, so
Yeah.
it just all flaked off.
There he is. There he is. Oh, God. Wow. That's fantastic.
You ever go to jail?
Just like the overnight thing. Like
Yeah.
Probably 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
Drunk tank.
Yeah, that kind of thing. My thing like that, it wasn't nearly like that. I don't think that you could get away with it by the time we were around for that. But I was doing like some mixed martial arts stuff at the time, and I would have boxing fractures, or my hand would be just a little bit swollen.
Yeah.
And the cop, I swear to this, and I blew under. I literally blew under, the alcohol thing, right? And he's like, what'd you get mad? Punch a wall, tough guy? Like, started in on me on that. And I'll never forget, and this is dumb, and Travis is like, you said what? I was like, oh, actually, MMA and training and boxing fractures, we just train like a block away. You should definitely come up next week. It'd be a really good time. Like, come train with us. And the guy could tell I was like, when dudes start doing that to each other.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, you're raising the
Yeah,
bar
yeah,
just a little bit. In retrospect, I probably shouldn't have done that.
No.
But it ended there. It did
Yeah.
end there. But that was my first taste of like, oh, he wants me to act up.
Yeah.
Like, he's trying to get me to screw around. And
Yeah.
I can only imagine what they did when there was no social media. Cameras could be pushed away. No cameras maybe in a jail. I can't imagine.
I love you and I are talking about this as a black guy sitting 3
I'm
feet
like,
away going
y'all
like, you
are
have
some thugs. Good God. Oh, my God. I've been telling my family and friends, look, that's all they do is fight. That's all they do, fighting in jail.
How many women you slept with, Greg? That's our next conversation piece.
But I also appreciate Greg asking you, have you been to jail first, before asking whether or not I had
He's
been.
not the
Greg-
best black
Greg
riding
is a-
punch-up
I
man
know,
in
I was
the
like,
business for
Greg
nothing.
has been around the block. He knows.
He knows.
Well played.
All right.
Well played.
Great job.
I have
Greg.
been to jail, though, by the way, Greg.
I
How
wasn't
long?
going to bring that up.
Just the weekend. I did the weekend thing, too.
Yeah.
It's so funny. My friends would say, whatever you do, just not on Friday.
Yeah.
Just maybe when you can see the judge
Yeah.
the next day or at that same
Did
day.
you have to share a cell?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah,
I never
didn't.
shared a cell.
Yeah, and I
Who'd you
never
share with?
This guy who's very, very drunk, and I
Yeah.
think he had gotten into some domestic
College
issues.
town?
Yeah, this was
Okay.
when we were in Missouri.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, Columbia, Missouri. It's just
College
like
town.
filled with like you have like actual criminals, but then there's like dudes with Abercrombie shirts who were just too drunk at the bar. So
Oh.
that's a weird mix.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, this isn't like real. No, that guy's in here for like aggravated assault. Like
Yeah.
you're in jail. Like it's real. Gardner.
I'd just like to shout out to my former cellmate, Lil What. Just say hi.
He still keeps up with
Who
the-
nicknamed me White Boy.
Oh,
One of
good.
the times I was in jail.
All right.
So,
Well, I'm glad we all figured
always
it
remember him.
out. Yeah, don't go to jail this weekend in St. Louis, man.
Well, I'm trying to think of what could get me there. I know there's a
He's like trying to
isn't
think
there a
of-
club called Blueberry Hill?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be across the
They
street
got music,
from
right?
from Salt and Stick. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I'm gonna
right
go. I
across
want to
the
go
street.
see some more live. I love St. Louis music. I mean, just the history of music in this town.
I'm
is
so proud of you
unbelievable.
for getting out and knocking it around, man.
Yeah,
There's a
gotta
lot
do
to
it.
do.
But
Yeah,
I'm gonna stay out of trouble. I don't drink anymore, so how
I
much trouble
know.
can I get in?
not much.
Not much.
And you're not going to cheat. No,
Not gonna
no hot
cheat.
tubs available. No porn stars I'm aware of.
What can I do wrong? Is pot legal here?
There's medical-
yes. Across
All
the
right,
river.
so I might get
yes.
arrested for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
5
okay,
minutes
there you go,
away,
yeah.
it's legal in Illinois.
Oh,
so-
no kidding.
Yeah, legal in Illinois
As
now.
of January, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
My son's going to college there.
Oh. Has he reported back anything to you? That's not
Put
fair
it this way,
because yeah.
I didn't know that he smoked much pot until he tells me on the phone the other day. So I'm quitting pot. I'm
Wait,
like,
what?
quitting.
What? Quitting?
How much were you doing? Yeah.
What a great way to find out.
That's
That is
fantastic.
Yeah.
outstanding.
I don't want to keep you here a ton longer, but that has to be such a difference. Like he's at DePaul, and I know it's just a different lifestyle. He grew up with a comic dad,
Yeah.
right? Do you ever look at the way he grew up and the way you grew up and just kind of like, Do you even know? And it's not that you had a terrible upbringing. or
No,
anything
no,
like
my
that.
father was in radio, so it was very
Right,
similar.
okay,
It was
that
like
makes
he was
sense
in
then.
entertainment, and
Yeah.
he worked weird hours, and I think it probably helped me think I could go into this business. I'm
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I hope he doesn't go into this business. I really think it's a tough life, but I don't think he will. He's not funny. He's like he knows what's funny,
Right.
but he's not like the guy that's like ripping it up in the room.
Right.
My daughter is.
I was gonna say, what if
That
your daughter
concerns
wants
me.
to jump in?
I got a redheaded daughter who's hilarious.
Stand up. That is out. That is
So who knows what's
awesome.
going to happen with her? Maybe she'll go to college and take sketch classes and then go to UCB and have nothing to talk about. I'll give her something to talk about.
Yeah, let's not do any damage at this point. You've
Yeah.
done a great job so far. Greg Fitzsimmons at Helium all weekend long. Listen to Fitzdog Radio.
Oh, and also Childish is my other podcast.
with Allison Rosen.
With Allison Rosen,
Yes.
which is we just did a live show in San Francisco at Sketchfest.
It's Sketchfest, yeah.
Yeah, and then we're starting to bring some guests in, but we had Andy Richter on. But it's about parenting, and it's me with teenagers trying to teach her with babies how to parent.
That is
I mean,
awesome.
and
I love that.
She was 40, almost 40 before she had her first kid.
She did in vitro fertilization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's a really interesting concept too. I
Yeah.
remember you guys talking about getting that going and everything. So
Right.
that's great that's rocking.
Yeah,
out,
so
man.
that's going really well. So check that out as well if you get a chance.
Absolutely, man. We'll have to do that. Guys, go see Greg Fitzsimmons. I've seen him every time he's been in St. Louis the last few years. You will not regret it. It's a very good show and a great feature who's going to be full of barbecue
Yes.
as well.
Sauce all over his face. I think he weighs like 275.
Your opening, your host is a big guy too. Rich
He's a
Braun from here.
huge
He's
guy.
6'4", 6'5", super nice.
He's
funny.
300. He's got to
big
be
boy.
300.
Yeah, but that's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Right? It's the Midwest.
I'm gonna say it's what we do. our
It's the
thing.
winter. You guys trim it up
right.
for the spring,
Oh, you
right?
should see me if
Yeah.
you would have been here in June.
Yeah. if
Man,
only.
all over it, Greg. Greg, thank you so much.
Thanks,
man.
All right, great
Appreciate
seeing
it.
you
Great
guys.
to see you. Just cut it there, Gardner. Oh, we didn't do Make It Race.